Today we're beginning a conversation that will last the next 6 weeks. It's called the Village Church Now and Tomorrow campaign. To be part of a church is to be part of a larger story. It is a story about us because it includes moments of our own faith and faithfulness. But it's also a story about God because God has been part of the mission and ministry that we share here at Village. So to tell the story of Village Church is to offer a prayer of thanksgiving for all that God has done among us. And so now you'll hear just a few of those stories, some of our defining moments.
I'm Jane McKim, and as the 2005 chair of the Mission Committee, I witnessed over 800 of you volunteer in a single week doing mission work. We fulfilled our dream that through this effort, both Kansas City and we would be better by Sunday. Village lived what it means to be the church that week, and God blessed us all.
I'm Mark McDonald, and I hold the record for attending more Village Youth Group ski trips as an adult advisor than anyone. And by the way, that record is 10. Maybe one of you will be inspired to break it. I've also been with our youth to the Dominican Republic 3 times over the last 14 years. And these are just a couple of the ways that Village is the church for our youth.
I'm Carol Groby. I've been the wedding coordinator at Village Church for the past 12 years. Together with our other coordinator, Pat Covington, we have helped more than 320 brides and grooms with their weddings.
I'm Helen Tolliver. Village has been the church for me and my husband Roe for almost 60 years, and it is the church home for our children and our grandchildren and some of our very best friends. I have become acquainted with most of these through mission sewing. There's a lot of hard work there, a lot of good conversation, more laughter than you can imagine with mission sewing. And at the end of the day, garments and blankets are made available to those who need them. You can sense the Spirit of God where we are sewing. You can sense the grace of God when the gifts are received.
I am Dave Lullard, and I've been one of the Thursday volunteers from numerous area churches who've helped build 42 houses sponsored by Village Church over the past 26 years. Faith calls us to help those in need, and this is one of the many ways in which Village is faithful to that call.
I'm Carol Cowden. When the devastation of Katrina hit New Orleans, many were left homeless. But Village was Village. You opened your hearts, you opened your homes, and those that were strangers became friends. You helped those that were lost to find a new home. I saw God at work in those days.
I'm Joe Pattison. I grew up at Village Church and was a youth here at Village. Shortly after college, I served as a youth advisor and currently serve on the session here at Village Church. This December, I will stand at the altar with my fiancée Sally as we take our vows of marriage. If blessed, we may someday stand at the font and witness the baptism of our children. Village Church has been my church home, and I work today to make sure that it is the church home for future generations.
I'm Betty Crooker, and it was truly God who pushed me and others to make new friends in the Ivanhoe neighborhood. And it was a God sighting to meet Miss Ruthie on her front porch, and truly God blessed the beginning of Front Porch Alliance. Many, many of you have felt the blessing of God in the Front Porch Alliance activities.
I'm Jennifer Taylor. And when my daughter was diagnosed with ALL leukemia, all of you showed me what it means to be part of the church. You made room for her at the Village Family and Child Development Center. You had open arms. It was a scary time for me and Savannah. But with the help of our doctors, we're healthy, happy, and well. And I definitely saw God work through you and through the Child Development Center.
Hello, I'm Henry Sewing. My family and I were the first African American family to move into Johnson County and into Fairway in 1966. Dr. Bob Manili came to my family and told us that we would be welcome at Village Church. That was true then, and it is true now. I am fortunate enough now to serve on the session of Village Church as the clerk of the session. Village Church was my church home then, it's my church home now, and it will be my church home in the future.
Hi, I'm Sharon Walker. Everybody needs friends in their life. I found wonderful friends through the Growing Together class, and my kids and I have found our place in the Gathering Worship Service. Village is our church now and tomorrow.
My name is Rogine Kahn, and Village has been God's vehicle of grace when my family has needed it most. My husband, Dr. Bob Kahn, when courageously battling ALS, would draw strength from worship service, first from the pew, and then when his body would no longer allow, we would live stream from our home. It was peace for him and for me.
My name is Chuck Hitchcock, and since 2001 I've served as a Stephen minister. That experience has made a big difference in my life. I also know that as a church, we're only as strong as the care we give to one another.
My name is Jenny Clark. As a church member and board member at Rosebrook Center for Battered Women and Their Children, I know the lives Village has helped save with Rose Brooks as a signature mission. In addition, Michael Bay and I know the lives Village has helped save with Hillcrest Transitional Housing as a signature mission last year. The truth is that through these signature missions, countless lives have been transformed of which we are unaware. But God is aware, and that is enough.
I'm Bob Sperry. I'm one of the 300 weekly volunteers that work at the Village Church Food Pantry and Clothes Closet. Did you know that we serve over 6,000 individuals? This is another way we serve God, by serving the least of those.
My name is Jean Francisco. My husband and I joined the church in February of 1949, and I have been a part of this church family ever since. We were among the 282 charter members of this church. On that Sunday, every one of the memories that we are sharing today were still dreams, dreams of distant tomorrows. I have been here for the whole journey, and these stories give me hope for what can happen among us in the years to come.
We are Kenyon and Peter Vrooman. We are relatively new at Village Church. We have not been part of your history for very long, but we have been welcomed here. I enjoy singing tenor in the village choir. My wife Kenyon is now a Sunday school teacher with the 3-year-olds downstairs, and our son Emmett just began preschool last week and is loving it. We want to grow in our faith with you, and we join with you in anticipation of the stories of transformation, the stories of mission, the stories of compassion, the stories of faith that God has planned for Village Church now and tomorrow.
Well, you've heard some of the testimony of those who are part of this church family, but it's only a part of our story, because to tell the whole story, we need to know your story. See, I'm confident of this. You too have a moment when your faith was nourished, when your hope was lifted, when your life was inspired, maybe even transformed. And all of that is part of the Village Church story. It simply can't be told without you. So we take time today to remember some of these stories. It reminds us of what God has done in our yesterdays. And that's why we move forward in hope, trusting that the same God who has loved and nourished and worked through us will be part of every tomorrow.